we'll start our webinar. This is the 78th Security Thought Leadership webinar. We've been here every Tuesday and Thursday, typically at a slightly later time. But today we're doing something a bit different. And just for you to know that the idea of thought leadership is we critique today what types of security we've got so we can have a better type of security tomorrow. Let's think about what's going on. Let's examine it and see if we can find a better way of going forward. And the reason why this is special today is it's about learning the lessons from COVID-19, assessing the implications for Kenya. And it's a special webinar because after we've done our thought leadership, we're going to present the Kenyan OSPAs, the 2020 Kenyan OSPAs. And these are the categories: outstanding in-house security manager director, outstanding contract security company guarding, outstanding security training initiative, outstanding security installer integrator, outstanding female security professional. They will all be presented after the webinar. So the webinar is going to last 45 minutes, and at 10:45 Kenyan time, we will then present the awards. And these are happening all over the world. So, and right along the bottom there are all the Kenyan associations that have been instrumental in this, all the groups. And the idea is to do something very special. But first, let's find out what's been going on in Kenya. And I'm delighted to welcome my panel today, all of whom represent different parts of the Kenyan security sector. And what I'm going to do is I'm first of all going to ask them to introduce themselves. And once they've done that, I'm then going to ask each of them to make an opening statement. That's where in 3 minutes, we get to hear what they've got to say about the topic. Now, we've been joined by 2 of our panel, and the other 2 we hope are joining imminently. We're just trying to sort out the connections. But let's start off by inviting the panel to introduce themselves. And let me go to Cosmos first. Cosmos, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Jill, and thank you, OSPAs, for organizing this 78th panel for us to hear our views. My name is Cosmos Mutava. I hold Masters in Business Administration, and I'm the chairman of Protective Security Industry Association, an association which brings together about 150 security firms in Kenya. I am the president of the Private Security Congress, which brings together several security associations. I'm also sitting in the board of Federation of Kenya Employers, where we are talking about the voice of employers. I sit in the board of KEPSA, that is Kenya Private Sector Alliance, where we engage and influence public policy. I am also in the panel of OSPAs, where we are talking about our duties today. Lastly, let me say that I am the managing director of Marco Security Limited, where we are offering security guards and other security services. In brief, that is me, Cosmos Mutava.
Cosmos, thank you. What a wonderful introduction. That was wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. And to someone who's been, I've known for quite a few years now, and we've been talking about getting Monica on a panel, and at last it's happened. Monica, nice to see you. Please introduce yourself, Monica.
Thank you very much, Martin. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the OSPAs for conducting this thought leadership webinar. And we are happy to have you in Kenya, Martin. My name is Monica Kimeu. I am a managing director of a company called More and More Concept Limited. And I'm also a trainer with a bias to security management. I am the Vice President of the National Security Congress. I'm happy to note that my president, Mr. Mutava, is here with us as a panelist in today's webinar. I also sit in the Governing Council of Women in Safety Excellence as the Secretary General. Women in Safety Excellence is an association of women who are in security to just basically discuss issues in terms of positioning for us to be meaningful in the sector. And I also sit as the Deputy Secretary General for the Protective and Safety Association of Kenya. I am proud once again to be participating in this thought webinar, and I'm excited about the Kenya OSPAs. I am excited about the finalists this morning, and I wish them all the best. Thank you very much, Martin.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, the OSPAs will be coming up straight after us. Let's meet Enoch. Enoch, can you just please introduce yourself, and very warm welcome to the panel, Enoch.
Yeah, sorry for being late. My name is Enoch. I'm having a training in South Coast, Diani, Mombasa. I'm having some managers from all over the region, so that's why I got late getting on board. For those who know me, I'm the Vice President of International Police Association of Kenya. I'm again the National Chairman for Protective and Safety Association of Kenya that brings together over 100 security companies and over 3,000 individual members. At the same time, I'm also a director in the National Chamber of Commerce. I'm happy about OSPAs and I'm happy to join you guys.
Thank you very much indeed, Enoch. Well, look, this has all been brought to you. We have been working with all the associations and Securex to bring you this today. OSPAs come afterwards. Right now, we've got this webinar. So let's go to the webinar first. I'm going to ask each of our panelists in just 3 minutes to give us their views on the state of the Kenyan security sector. So let's go to Cosmos first. Cosmos, my 3 minutes, please. Your views on this subject matter. Cosmos.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Gill, for that opportunity. What I can say is that Kenya is a good country. I welcome you all to Kenya. Security in Kenya is good because you have seen we are having good environment for tourism, and we are saying it is because of this security situation where we are having so many tourists coming in. When we talk about good security atmosphere is when we are having no intruders from outside coming to the borders of Kenya. And again, we also need the internal policies to be good for us to have that security situation inside our country. This has been so because of our laws and regulations. The laws that we have put in place in the past several years have been good for us, and we have been working very well. So in general, what we are saying is Kenya is good and we have good security systems, save for a few amendments that need to be done. Yeah, thank you, Professor.
Cosmos, thank you very much indeed. Appreciate your points. Can I ask you, the audience out there, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see Q&A, question and answers. If you've got any questions, put your questions on there, and as soon as the 3 speakers have finished, we'll put the questions to the panel. So can you use your Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to get your questions in early, and we'll endeavour to incorporate them. Okay, thank you very much indeed, Cosmos. Over to Monica. Monica, just 3 minutes from you, please, on your thoughts on the state of the Kenyan security sector. Monica.
Thank you very much, Martin. Well, I think in Kenya, we are managing the situation. We have the Ministry of Health that has been keeping Kenyans updated with what is happening. But from if you look at how things are happening globally, the numbers as we speak are at 65 million who are currently affected, and about 70,000 people losing lives every week at a global level. So in Kenya, as of yesterday, we had from a sample of over 900,000 since the pandemic hit, we are at 88,000 Kenyans who have confirmed positive for coronavirus. But like Cosma says, the ministry and the government have been able to put measures in place to ensure that people are aware. There are messages all over to ensure that people are aware on how to keep social distance, how to keep on their masks, to be able to deal with this pandemic. The results therefore tell us that much as we are affected as a country, from a security perspective, there's an eye-opening that we need to be more careful to be able to look at security from a holistic perspective. The frontline warriors being health workers, we also appreciate the government having recognized private security officers as essential service providers to be able to deal with this pandemic. So Martin, what I'm saying in a nutshell is that we are managing it, we are working with government, and we are hoping in the fullness of time, we will manage the pandemic. Now that we have vaccines in the offing, and we are very hopeful that things will turn better. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Monica. Enoch, just 3 minutes from you, please, on your thoughts on the state of the Kenyan security sector. Where are we, Enoch, in Kenya? Over to you.
I think we've done a very good job in terms of what's happening as far as COVID is concerned. And from the aviation industry, you can see at the airport, you have to pass through a good number of protocols, which are really working on very well. When when you come to hotels are also put in place very good measures to make sure that you put on masks, you sanitize as you come in. And as we're talking right now, we are attending a conference in Mombasa in a place called South Coast. And you can see all the tourists, you can see all the people who are on board following the procedures. And I think everything is going on well. I think that's what I can say from my side.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Well, let's get some thoughts going on this. So let me ask each of you this question. I'll start with you, Cosmos, first. What is the single most important change needed in Kenyan security to make it better? What's the change we need to make? The headline big strategic change we need to make. I'm going to ask each of you, but I'm going to go to Cosmos first. Cosmos, your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you very much, Martin. I think what we need to do is make our laws clear. That is harmonizing of our laws. We have 7 acts which need to be looked at. That is the Labor Relations Act, the Employment Act, Industrial Relations Act, the Labor Institutions Act, Industrial Court, Occupational Safety and Health Act 2007, Work and Injury Benefits Act 2007, and then NSSF. Those needs to be done in the right way in order for us to move in the right direction or in terms of security.
But Cosmos, in general terms, what's wrong with them?
You see, they were enacted long time ago. They were enacted in 2000 1998, the year 1998. And then there was an amendment in 2007. From that time, it has not changed, and we need a change on that. That will now be in line with the present situation of private security players and the sector.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much. I'm going to come back to you in a minute. Let's get the headline issues from Monica next. Monica, headline issue, strategic level, what needs to change to make the Kenyan security sector better?
First of all, Martin, I think we have an authority in place, the Private Security Regulatory Authority, that needs to be able to collaboratively work with stakeholders in the private security sector to be able to manage the COVID-19 in a concerted effort. As we speak, we have a few challenges here and there. Like Mutava says, we have our laws that have not been able to be streamlined to be able to ensure that there is concerted effort to deal with this. So first and foremost, COVID-19 has come to give us an eye-opening that we cannot work isolatedly, that for us to deal with this pandemic, we need to have a concerted effort to be able to cascade preventive measures, issues to do with protective mechanisms to be able to deal with this pandemic. So for me, what is weighty at the moment is a concerted effort between the Private Security Regulatory Authority and the private security associations through the National Security Congress. Thank you, Martin.
And the thing is, Monica, what's the difficulty in that? I mean, that sounds a very sensible thing to do. As an outside Kenya, I'm listening thinking, yeah, that makes sense. So what's the difficulty in making that happen?
Well, Martin, for quite a while, the Kenyan security space has been, we did not have a law, like Cosmas said, we did not have a law that was able to set the stage for us to work together. And the formation of associations came about to be able to fill that gap, to be able to address particular issues in the sector. And once we had the Security Act enacted in 2016, when the Private Security Regulatory Authority was set up and we had a CEO who was being able to run the office, we have been working to ensure that then we have one voice to be able to move things together. We have regulations that were set up and we are having a few challenges agreeing on how we need to move forward. So Martin, that has just been the challenge, that we just need to agree on how to be able to put the regulations in place at a round table and move forward. Once that happens, I think then we can be able to deal with this pandemic. Okay,
thank you very much indeed. I'll come back on in a minute. I want to say here, Enoch, once again, same question to you. Headline issues, Enoch. What's the barrier to, what do we need to think about in terms of moving forward? Enoch.
Martin, the industry employs so many people. The industry, security industry, the private security industry in Kenya employs so many people. is one of the driving sectors of the economy, and plays a very critical point on the economy. For example, cash in transit, guarding services, private investigation, all these things. But the biggest obstacle we've been having is that we have a very big problem in terms of the associations have come together. They would like to move this thing in the right direction, but the government is the problem. They have an authority does not want to listen to the players. They want to offer rules that are not acceptable to all. They don't want to work with the private security players, because in that industry we have three players. We've got the consumers, people who actually set up the game for the players. Then we've got the actual players, the security companies. Then we've got actually the manpower. So at the end of the day, unless you involve the three stakeholders, the staff who are involved, you involve the actual players, then you end up involving the people who actually bring jobs, the security managers. Once you make sure that you don't listen to the three of them, I think you want to get it right, because we are a very important sector in the economy of the country. Unfortunately, I think those who are actually privileged to be given that job of driving that industry have refused to listen to the industry players.
So, and the question is, I suppose, as an outsider, Enoch, why are they refusing to listen?
That's a question we've been wondering, because at the end of the day, when you get in an industry, and you need to understand how they operate, the best thing is listen to the people who are on the ground. But now we've got guys who come on board, and they don't want to listen to the industry players. They want to set rules of the game which are copy-pasted, not coming from the actual players, and that becomes a problem, because rules are supposed to be done by the actual players, not imposing the rules on the players.
Okay, really interesting. Well, let's go to some questions then, and I'll come to you first, Cosmos, and I'm hoping I pronounce this right. Please correct me if I'm wrong, one of you. Jatini Tolosa. My apologies if I haven't pronounced your name right. But the question is this: the COVID-19 measures have had some of the work relations among security sectors interrupted, which we've just been hearing about. The same has left police in an awkward position, forcing them to relax response to perceived petty crimes, which is often the highest crimes committed, the most amount of crimes committed. How is the security sector intending to harmonise this? What's the role, I suppose, of security in this this difficult situation? Cosmos, what's your view of that, please?
Thank you, Martin. What I can say is that there are several challenges in our country, Kenya. And during this time of COVID-19, we have been trying to cope with that and come up with solutions. One of the things and the challenges that we would want to mention would be the high crime rate because of COVID-19. When people are told to work from home and maybe they are not getting any pay, they will want to do anything, including crime, to get their pay. So we have to come up with that. The obstacle is there, and we need to see a way of getting that. There are other operational costs which are bringing up issues of COVID-19, and that one needs to be gotten rid of. You remember that when people are told to work from home, there are issues of non-paying customers. This one, we need to look for a solution, like having a CRB, so that when people are not working and they need to eat, we need to come up with a solution like stimulus packages. The government needs to come up with stimulus packages. This one will help the security firms to pay guards, because you remember, security guards cannot work from home. They need to open gates for this. How do they work from home when there's no payment? That payment has to come from somewhere. Remember, the government is the largest consumer of private security firms. Actually, 80% of private security services are from the government, and they need to pay for the services so that work can go on as COVID is being fought. With that, you know, it has created unemployment throughout the country. We need to come up with ways of countering this because business has to continue. We have to look for ways of having business continuity strategy. That is one of the ways of having this. And the best way to counter that is to look at ways of having a stimulus package, loans to these security firms, so that they can have some cash flow to pay for their employees and move forward. Those are some of the solutions that we can have.
Thank you. And of course, Monica, we've been hearing about this in other countries where the governments have stepped in with the stimulus package in order to respond to this crisis. Do you agree with Cosmos, or do you see a different type of solution? What else can we do to relieve the problem here? Monica first, and I'll come to Enoch.
Thank you, Professor. I think the stimulus package is how most countries have been able to cushion most businesses from going down. In our case, the government has been able to supplement food supplies, has been able to work with different stakeholders to be able to supply necessary protective equipment to communities. However, like we said, because of the problem we have of lack of coordination between government and the private sector, we don't have a stimulus package for our sector. So that means that businesses have to rely on their personal business continuity plans to be able to keep business afloat, despite the fact that private security has actually lost a lot of business because there's been a lot of downsizing, there's been a lot of people losing their jobs. And going back to your first question, this has led to increase in crimes, among them being gender-based violence that has actually been able to touch on women who are working in the private sector, who are also caregivers at home. So Martin, I want to agree with Mutava that indeed that is where we are lacking. We don't have that cushioning that would be able to stop some of this crime is going up. So
okay, thank you very much indeed. Enoch, we've heard from Cosmos and Monica about the role of government here. Is there a bigger role for the security sector here in terms of how it positions itself in relation to government to make itself, his voice heard better? Enoch?
Yeah, we've done our best as private security players to be able to assist the government in positioning ourselves. Number one, when COVID struck, we actually trained around 800 trainers of trainers. We called them in a private training institution, and we took them through a change of tact, the way they do their things in terms of how they need to train their security players on how to be able to counter this problem of COVID. I'm happy to report that since COVID began in March, we've not had any incident where a private security player or any security officer has died because of COVID. That tells you that the training that we did early this year on COVID-19 worked. Now, coming on stimulus package, as Mr. Mutava and Monica have said, we've had a problem on helping security players. Remember, like the hotels have closed, companies have closed, but the security private players continue guiding those organizations. The problem that we've had is that most organizations have not been able to pay simply because they are not working, simply because they are not in operation. And that becomes a very big problem for security players. So what we are doing is that, one, we've been able to train security directors on business development, how to be able to reposition themselves and be able to change the way things are going. Because 6 months coming ahead of us, if you're not repositioned yourselves in terms of what is happening or in terms of COVID, then you'll be in a problem. So we've been able to train security directors to be able to know what to do and how to reposition themselves and how to be able to approach COVID, the post-COVID-19 era. So that's how we've been going on. In terms of the government assisting us, the government has been able to talked to several organizations, but from the private perspective, through National Chamber of Commerce, the National Chamber of Commerce has been able to give some packages to organizations that are members to be able to help them survive as we move ahead. But in terms of them helping the government, the government helping the private security players, I think we've not been able to get this help simply because I think the need for help is enormous. Everybody wants help. Every private sector player needs help. And I'm sure that the government is not able to assist all of us at the same time because of COVID-19.
Yeah, it's a good question, Enoch. I was going to just about, as you were talking there, I was just thinking that you'd imagine, and again, I'm outside Kenya, so I merely asked the question. You'd imagine that everyone would be saying the same thing. We need help, we need help, we need help. You can understand it. It's the same in my country here. The question is, Enoch, I suppose, has security got a special case to make? Or is it the same as any other service and it's just a sign of the times? I'm just trying to think about security itself. Is it special? Can it make a particular case for help here?
Of course, yes. You know, at the end of the day, all security companies didn't stop working. Security companies are guarding banks. Security companies are guarding organizations. They continue providing essential services. We are like the medical people. And when the medical people are saying we want personal protective equipment, they are on strike currently because they are saying that they've not been given that, the personal protective equipment. We are also saying as security players, there's need to have our guards being given the personal protective equipment that is being given as aid from other organizations. For example, we are talking about gloves, we are talking about face masks. If we are able to be given those masks as a private organizations, I think that could be able to assist us because it has been very expensive for organizations to be able to buy masks for their guards, to be able to buy face masks. They are sanitizers. These were not anticipated. Remember, we are talking about organizations not paying. We are talking about organizations not being able to meet their obligations after you've given the service. So it has been very tough for private organizations because here comes a client who wants you to make sure that your guard has got a face mask. He makes sure that you sanitizers, but these were not packaged for. You didn't package for this, and these things are required for your guards to be on site. So these are things we are saying. I think the government can come in and be able to, when they are giving the medical guys as essential service providers, they can also be able to think about the private security companies and be able to give out through the associations, and we are able to assist actually fighting this disease. Okay, thank you very much indeed, Enoch. And there's some very good insights here. Before I come to a question from Ifitka, I hope I pronounced that right. Let me just ask Monica a question. Monica, you mentioned in your talk attacks on women in particular, and we've seen around various countries that when people have been working at home, it's created tensions in the home and domestic violence has increased. And the statistics from my country here about this. You said that there have been attacks on women in their role as security officers because they're women, Monica, or because they're on the front line. It's a dreadful situation. What's been happening to violence on women, Monica?
Thank you, Martin. Well, women are a special category, and much as we've been fighting for their space, COVID-19 has brought unprecedented challenges in terms of how they execute their work. Because then women, as much as they are also part of frontline workers, they have double duty. They are mothers at home, and kids are at home because of the lockdown. Children are not going to school. So you find this woman has to be at work, and sometimes because of the restrictions the government has been able to put in place, some people actually get very abusive to them because of, as being a woman, somebody will come and they want to pass through. They don't want to be checked their temperature. They don't want to wash their hands, and sometimes it becomes a bit challenging for them to deal with some people who look at them and wonder why should I be able to comply with these regulations I washed at home. So these are some of the things. Then when they go back at home, they find work waiting for them with kids and their husbands. Some of them have not been working, and you are coming home late because you're an essential worker. Gender-based violence kicks in. So between putting bread on the table stable and being a wife and mother and actually focusing on, being wholesome, then as women, you can imagine we are able to carry double burden. As care workers, as workers in the front line, as essential workers, we are not being treated any different. And unfortunately, Martin, when it came to downsizing and sending people home, women were the majority of people who were fired from work, because then they're usually the easy let go. Actually, we are actually hoping that in the fullness of time, WISE can be able to influence policy so that we are not gender blind to the challenges of women in security. Thank you, Martin.
Really interesting, Monica. Just quickly on that, and then I want to move on to the next question. We've got a lot to cover. On that, are you making progress in challenging those views in that situation?
We are privileged to be part of the National Security Congress, which is a conglomeration of private security associations that have come together to be able to chart the way forward to be able to discuss with government on how they can be able to work with us. So Women in Safety Excellence actually is working on a policy paper to be able to have it cascade through the associations to see how can we be able to be gender responsive on the challenges that face women in our sector. Because indeed, Martin, we want to be partners in this sector, but we are admitting that we are a bit different and that we are faced with challenges that need not to be ignored, but worked on to ensure that then we are on the same level playing field, because Martin, we are not.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Really important points, and thank you for that, Monica. We could spend ages on just that one topic, but let me move on. And come to Cosmos and then Enoch next. If you could, Razul, I hope I've pronounced that right, I'm sorry if I haven't, has asked a question that's been cropping up elsewhere in the world. And when we've been doing these webinars, and as I repeat, it's the 78th today, but when we've been doing these around the world, one of the questions that's come up is that, was the security sector really ready? Were the business continuity plans in place to enable the security to act effectively, or were they faulty? And generally, the argument is, the problem is we weren't expecting a crisis this long. And I wonder what this says, A, Cosmos, about whether security in fact was to be blamed for not being ready, and two, what the implications are going forward. And Mr. Razul, I think, is asking this question. So let me come to Cosmos first, and then to Enoch about business continuity plans. Cosmos first.
Yes, thank you very much, Martin. Before I answer that one, let me also add that some of the things that we are doing and the challenges we are having can be done when we look at our related laws and bills. We can pass very simple bills and move forward. For example, in March, when the COVID-19 struck, we talked to the government, agreed that private security services are essential services. And we passed, the government passed a bill and noted that private security can be placed as essential service providers. That means the private security firms were able to move around when there were curfews, when there are lockdowns, and provide the services which were needed that time. Again, some of the other laws that we need to pass is
just losing you, Cosmos.
Some of the people are going to be infected. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, carry on. So we just lost you for a minute. Carry on.
Saying some of the farms are supposed to be, yes, some of the farms are going to be affected, and the players, the employees are not covered, for example, does not cover that.
Okay, okay, thank you very much.
There's a problem.
Let me come, you're just breaking up a little bit, Cosmos. We'll see if we can solve that. Let me go to Enoch meanwhile, and I'll give Monica a chance on this. Enoch, this business continuity, does it show that security weren't ready? And what are the implications going forward in terms of responding to crises like this? Has the security sector had to learn some important lessons, Enoch?
Yeah, indeed. If you didn't have a business continuity plan, I think you'll be in shit. I can tell you for free because I can tell the participants for free that it's a fact that most organizations who didn't have business plans and were caught flat-footed by COVID-19 were in serious problems. So as an association, what we've done as PROSAC was that we did training to the directors of various organizations and took them through on the best practices as far as business continuity is concerned. Then on security managers, we've been running several trainings on Zoom to be able to advise them on best practices as far as security management is concerned. There are so many things that have taken place since we were hit by COVID, and that actually changes our internal security operating procedures. It changes the way we deal with the customers, the way we deal with the staff. And having said that, or on top of that, it requires a security manager to think outside the box to be able to benchmark and find out how best can you continue providing your service as a security manager, but to be able to make sure that you don't interfere with the revenue generating departments that actually bring money inside your organization. So basically, that's what we are doing now.
And good question, good point, because this has also cropped up, Enoch, around the world, you know, that there's a move in security around the world from once upon a time being the protector, we stop things happening, to a move to being a business enabler. We will help you operate, we'll help you make a profit, we'll keep you going when the crisis hits. A different sort of thinking. Would you say, generally speaking, Enoch, Kenya security managers at that high level, strategic level, are thinking differently, or is it the same old ways, which is a problem elsewhere in the world? Enoch.
That's why I've told you I'm running a training currently. I'm having around 10 security managers from the whole region that we are training right now in Diani right now in Swahili Beach. And the concept that we are doing is that with the COVID coming in front of us, we are unable to, we must be able to think outside the box. One, you must be able to make sure that you strategize yourself. You make sure that you add value to the business operations of an organization. If you don't, then you'll be one of the departments that are going to be shown the door. If you don't change, then that means that the organization will want to look at which departments are adding value. I'm very sure that there are security managers who are shown the door between the months of March up to now. There are a good number of guys who are shown the door simply because they were not strategic, simply because they didn't add value on the operations of the company, simply because they didn't look at this issue being so big. So what we are telling security managers is that as we go ahead, as we look at the post-COVID plans, let's look at what can we add on top of the other departments. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that 2021, or as we come to the beginning of the year, if you don't come up with a security policy that will add value to your organizations, what's going to happen is that possibly you are the guy on the firing line. The company will not have you on board because they will only have departments that add value to the operations of the organization. So, and if security cannot be able to add value, they would rather have you step aside or do away with you and then operate without security, then maybe bring you on board later, because at CEO's level, the CEO will want to look at which departments can I be able to have at this particular situation and be able to move on, as opposed to having very many departments spending so much money and they can't be able to add value. So that tells you the security manager should think outside the box, make sure that he has a security company that is able to reposition themselves, be able to do proper searches, be able to understand how to add value on the business that you are managing.
Okay, one quick question, just if I could, totally understand. My question is, what percentage of the relevant Kenya security sector would you say is thinking like that right now?
We have, I think I can say a good number of security managers, because we have a WhatsApp group. We have a WhatsApp group that brings together more than 3,000 security managers. We've got the Africa Security Network WhatsApp group that is full. We've got the PROSAC wall. We've got Security Congress. We have a very big WhatsApp group that we discuss issues that are emanating in the industry on daily basis. And we advise security managers on what to do on daily basis. We discuss these issues spot on. We evaluate these issues spot on. We interject in them spot on.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much indeed. I'm going to come to Monica now. Monica, final question, and I'll come to Cosmos straight afterwards. And the question is about whether associations are working as well with the regulator as they should be, and how we can bring about change. So Monica briefly, then Cosmos briefly, because we're running out of time. Do you think that the associations are following the commitment to behaving in a professional way? Do you think the associations have established the right sort of rapport with the regulator? Very briefly, Monica, then Cosmos. Monica first.
Thank you, Martin. Very good question there. I think the associations have been able to form a very good relationship with the regulator as individual associations. As a conglomerate, we are getting there. Like we said, Rome was not built in a day, Martin, and we are making baby steps in Kenya to ensure then we have a concerted effort to address our issues in the sector. So the private security sector, because of COVID-19, yes, and we said COVID-19 has negatives and positives. The positive of COVID-19 as far as our sector is concerned is that as associations, we are now speaking in one voice. We have come at a level we have realized we cannot be able to work isolatedly. All right. So the National Security Congress is a body with which associations that have been able to plug in, positioning themselves to be able to engage with the regulator, to be able to ask the regulator questions that probably we don't understand. Like Enoch said, we really don't understand what the issue is. We have a few questions to ask that we like answered, and we also want to listen from government what they want us to do on our end. So we are setting up the Congress as a one voice, as private security sector, to be able to sit down with government and chart the way forward. So for me, COVID-19 is a plus because we have not been talking as associations, but now we are talking. And moving to 2021, Martin, I can promise you, we are going to chart our way forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Really interesting. Cosmos, very briefly, because we're running out of time. Do you agree with Monica? Is she right to be optimistic about the role of associations and the role of the regulator?
Well, Martin, what I can say is that I agree with.
We lost you, Cosmos. We can't hear you.
I'll tell you that when we came together and we approached the Ministry of Health, internal ministry in charge of security, and went together as associations. That means we are coming together and move in the right direction in having the pandemic and all the other pandemics, because we are saying that pandemics will come. This is just one of the pandemics. In about 400 years, we have also so many other pandemics. In terms of working, we are working together as associations, because you will note that people cannot work in isolation. Security, you cannot have security in isolation. You need security internationally, nationally, and even local security. We need to work together. On the other hand, I want to say.
Thank you very much indeed. So let's final point, Enoch, just 1 minute left. So Enoch, can I just ask you, just a bit of, put in perspective, Enoch, the optimism here. What should we, Enoch, be optimistic about going forward? Cosmos and Monica have set a very positive agenda. Are you equally positive, Monica, Enoch?
Yes, I am equally positive, yes.
Frank, just for case, Enoch, just your points first.
I'm very positive about how we're going on, how we've come together as associations and we are speaking one voice. And I think we really want to support the government. We really want to make sure that we help the government. We really want to make sure the government regulates the private security industry. But our problem is we want to make sure that it's a homegrown. And I repeat again, it's a homegrown method, a method that brings together all the players and we're able to listen to each other, not one side shouting on top of the voice and one side is saying, we're not listening. If we're able to come together and we're able to listen to each other, and I think the Kenyan industry is doing very well, is going a step ahead. And I think so far we're doing very well.
Thank you very much. I'm going to leave the very final comment to Francis. Francis, thank you for joining us. We've just come to the end of our time. Francis, let me ask you for a final comment. we've been hearing in this webinar about the state of the security sector in Kenya, and there's a lot of room for optimism. It seems that progress has been made over the last sort of 9 months or so. Francis, from your point of view, what do you see as the single biggest progress that's been made and the single biggest barrier? Francis, I'm going to ask you to be quick. We've only got 1 minute left, Francis. Francis.
Yes, I want to concur with the colleague that has been there. The biggest progress we have made is that we work together and we work for the good of the industry. We are not criticizing the government. We are not prepared to criticize the government, but we are prepared to work with the government to better the industry, because all of us belong to this country, but we want the government also to support the local industry, because as it is now, our local industry is not perceived to be very strong.
Francis, thank you so much for that. That is really, really helpful. I really appreciate that. Panel, thank you so much. We could have gone on and on and on, and that's the idea of thought leadership. We have ideas, we pose them, and I'm sure we're going to come back to these in the future. So to my panel, thank you very much indeed for your insights. Thank you for managing to get to us, Francis, right at the end there. Really appreciate you joining us. Well, here we go. First, before we get to the OSPAs and the presentation of the awards, let me just say some of the points I think that were raised there. What I've been hearing around the world, when I've been speaking to people around the world, is that rather interestingly, there are those who argue that security is in a very good state, that one of the things about COVID-19, it's shown up how good security is. But there are also those around the world who said, be careful, because what's most important about what's been happening in COVID-19 is that we take the time to learn the lessons in order that we have a better type of security in the future. And the real danger for security is that we don't learn the lessons. It's not just Kenya, this is around the world. The real danger is that what we find is that through this COVID-19 period, the security sector's built up immense knowledge. But the problem is, afterwards, economic hardship because of COVID-19 means that security is going to face difficulties once again. And so one of the things that we need to do is make sure we're prepared, make sure that as a sector, we understand what's going on and that we have the opportunity to be progressive. And what was interesting, I think, about that webinar is we were learning from Kenya there that big steps have been made, and that maybe one of the great things about COVID-19, terrible and tragic where it was, but looking to the positives, as Monica says, is that it has enabled the organizations, the associations to work together. And if that is one of the big benefits, it's an enormous advantage going forward. So real optimism there, real thoughts for optimism. My grateful thanks to my panel. They were fantastic, fantastic insights. Just to let you know, I will be writing, as they were talking, I was writing some notes, and we will be putting a blog on the website tomorrow and a copy of the webinar. So if you missed it, if you only just joined it, you can catch us right at all tomorrow, and we'll go through it. You can watch it all over again. And plenty more webinars coming up, so do look out for them. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move to the presentation of the Outstanding Security Performance Awards. Now, these are, as you know, something that's been really, really important in the world, our world. We've been doing a lot of work over a long time now to try and bring these to different parts of the world. What we're trying to do is make sure that we've got a much more better appreciation of just how good the security sector is. So one of the things we're going to be doing now is we're hopefully going to be joined by my two colleagues who are going to help me. So let me just explain a bit about the background. So if you've just joined us, you've missed a fantastic webinar. We're going to be talking about the Outstanding Security Performance Awards. And so many of you listening or watching will be waiting with excitement to find out who the winners are, and we're about to tell you all about them. So first and foremost, a bit about the OSPAs. They are now operating in many countries around the world. One of the interesting things is they've taken off all over the world, including in Africa, with Nigeria already well established, and South Africa happening next year. But you can see from that slide, these are pretty global. These are pretty positive parts of the world. And so it's a great opportunity to welcome Kenya to this. We'd very much like to thank our event partner, Security Expo, for their helps. Crucial part they've played. It was due to be held live at Security Expo. Unfortunately, because of COVID, got cancelled, but hopefully we'll be back in October next year, as you can see from the slide. We'd also like to thank our media partners and all the supporting associations. They've played a crucial role in helping to make all this possible. Now, all those security associations have played a part. And here's the point about the OSPAs. In every country, it's not us at the OSPAs who decide who the supporters are. We ask all these associations, do you agree to take part in an initiative that's global and represent Kenya's security sector? And all of these have done that. And we're very grateful to all of those for their help in this. And also particularly because they've helped appoint the judges. And these are the judges. And just for you to know, they have all been involved in helping us promote the idea of the OSPAs. And all the judges, all of them, have agreed to sign up to an ethics policy to say they'll mark fairly. And on every single entry they marked, they've declared a conflict of interest. So if there's any conflict of interest, they haven't marked it. The idea is to try and make a level playing field. There's two members of the judging panel who are going to assist me with presenting the awards today. Chris Otieno, who represents the Kenyan Professional Society of Criminology, is going to read out the finalists. And Charles Olu, who represents ASIS Kenya, is going to reveal who the winners are. So on that slide, you can see the hashtags. So please do use these. We'd encourage you, please, to use these wherever you can. Share details about the awards. We will be doing this across the world. Right now, there are people across the world waiting to find out who are the successful people of the Kenya OSPAs. And a summary of the winners' achievements will be uploaded to the Kenya OSPAs website. You can see it there, ke.theospas.com. So you can see a summary of why people have won. Now then, let's get going. The first award we are presenting is for Outstanding In-House Security Manager or Director. This award recognises those who, through security expertise, business acumen, and of innovative leadership, have led with distinction. I'm going to hand over to Chris to read out the list of finalists. Chris, please read out the finalists. Over to you.
Thank you, Professor Martin Gill. Thank you, OSPAs. Thank you, security associations, and thank you to everybody viewing this webinar. My name is Chris Otieno from Kenya Professional Society of Criminology. I am singularly honored to be able to read to you this first category of Outstanding In-House Security Manager or Director. And our finalists in this category are Annette Kimitei, Senaca, East Africa, number one. Number two, Major Retired Michael Kariuki from SAFARICOM. And number three finalist, Tom Kipiegon from Kenya Nut Company Limited. Back to you, Martin Gill. Thank you so much, finalists. Congratulations, abundance and blessings.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. Appreciate that. Well, they're the finalists. Now I'm going to tell you what. It's up to my good friend Charles Olu to read out the winner. So I'm going to pass over to Charles. Charles, which of these distinguished colleagues has won the Outstanding In-House Security Manager or Director? Charles, over to you. Charles, are you there? We seem to have lost Charles. Where's he gone? Okay, we seem to have lost Charles. Okay, well, let me, in that case, I've got no choice. I'll read out the winner.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Charles, there you are. Thank goodness.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
goodness. Yeah, we can hear you now. Charles, can you read out the winner, please, for us, Charles,
Yes.
of the Outstanding In-House Security Director?
Thanks, Martin, and thanks, OSPAS, for organizing this. Thanks for the finalists for putting up a brave fight for this prestigious award of Outstanding In-House Security Manager. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now reveal the winner of the first category, Outstanding In-House Security Manager or Director. And the winner is Major Retired Michael Kariuki, SAFARICOM.
Many congratulations to Major Michael Kariuki. Many congratulations. It was a very, very competitive. And there's more details about the winner and the category on the website. You can find out why the judges made Michael the winner. But many congratulations. Just to be a finalist, you have to be very good. So real tough competition, and many congratulations once again. Let's move on then to the award for Outstanding Contract Security Company. Now, the OSPAs acknowledges those who are outstanding suppliers of manned security guarding, those making a positive difference, recognizing the distinct importance of frontline leaderships, motivating staff, managing resources, forging partnerships. These are just some of the qualities the judges were looking for. Now, Chris, once again, he's going to tell you who the finalists are. So, Chris, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Martin Gill. Thank you, OSPAs. Thank you, security associations. Thanks to all the participants. And thank you so much to the tough competitors under the category of Outstanding Contract Security Company. Allow me my singular gratitude to announce the Outstanding Contract Security Company and the finalists, not in whichever order, the finalists. Number one finalist is Relay Falcon Security Services. Congratulations, Relay Falcon Security Services. Our number two finalist, Intercity Secure Homes. Intercity Secure Homes, congratulations. And third finalist of this category is Senaca East Africa Limited. Over to you, Professor Martin Gill, and thank you so much to the three finalists.
Thank you once again. Echo Chris's point. Many congratulations to the finalists. You did well to become a finalist. The judges were very impressed with the words, but to see who they were most impressed with, I'm going to pass back to Charles. Charles, can you tell us who the winner is, please?
Thanks, Professor, for the opportunity. Let me now reveal the Outstanding Contract Security Company. And before I say that, congratulations to the finalists, Relay Falcon Security Services, Intercity Secure Homes, and Senaca East Africa. You've managed to compete so well in this. And the winner for this category is Senaca East Africa.
Many congratulations once again to Senaca East Africa. And just to remind you, details about why they won, what the judges said, will be on the website straight after this webinar. Moving on to the Outstanding Security Training Initiative, which recognizes individuals or companies that operate a successful training scheme and has produced identifiable results. So once again, over to Chris, who's going to tell you who the finalists are. Chris.
Thank you, Professor Gill. Thank you, OSPAS. Thank you, all associations. Thank you so much to all participants in this category, Outstanding Security Training Initiative. My gratitude to announce the finalists, and the first finalist and Outstanding Security Training is Private Security Training Academy. Congratulations, PSTA, making it this far. Number two finalist, Byron Adera Consultants Training Initiative. Congratulations and thank you so much for making it up to this level. Over to you, Professor Martin Gill.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. And just to be clear, to be a finalist in the OSPAs, you have to reach a threshold. So even if you're a finalist, you're in a sense a winner. We don't just put anybody up. You've got to reach a threshold where the judges felt you were worthy of being a finalist. So to find out who the winner is, it's back to Charles. Charles, who won?
Thank you, Professor Martin Gill, and thanks for the OSPAs. And congratulations to finalists for reaching this far. Very tough competition, but you managed to be in the final list. And there can only be one winner. And the winner for Outstanding Security Training Initiative category goes to Private Security Training Academy.
Many congratulations. Don't forget, reasons why they won will be on the website after this webinar, after this award ceremony. Okay, now let's move to the next one. It's our penultimate award, the Outstanding Installer Integrator category. And this recognises companies and individuals who excel at security installations. Chris, over to you to read out who are the finalists.
Thank you once again, Martin. Thank you so much, OSPAs. Thank you all the security association participants. It's my singular gratitude to announce to us the finalists under the category of Outstanding Security Installer or Integrator. And just like Martin said, you have to meet a certain threshold, and these people, these teams met this threshold. So my gratitude, number one Outstanding Security Installer finalist goes to Spotted Anywhere. First finalist, Spotted Anywhere. Congratulations, Spotted Anywhere. Number two, Bob Morgan Security. Congratulations, Bob Morgan Security, for meeting the thresholds to be in the finalists in this category. And number three, and Outstanding Security Installer Integrator, Senaca East Africa Limited. Congratulations, Senaca. Congratulations, finalists. Over to you, Professor Martin. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. Well, we move from Chris to Charles because Charles is going to tell us who the winner of the Outstanding Integrator Installer category is. Charles.
Congratulations to those who participated and managed to appear on the final list. You've done so well. It was very competitive, but in any competition, there can only be one winner. And for the Outstanding Installer / Integrator category, the winner for this category is Senaca East Africa.
That was very competitive. Thank you very much indeed for your entries and your support, everybody. And find out more on the website as to why they were the winners. Now, we come to our final award. And this recognises an outstanding female security professional who has consistently shown outstanding performance over an extended period of time and had a substantial impact defining and driving standards in the sector. So Chris, can you please tell us who the finalists are?
Thank you, Professor Martin. Thank you, OSPAS. Thank you, everyone. It is my gratitude to announce this category of Outstanding Female Security Professional finalists. And this is a very, very, very attractive entry, and all participants, congratulations. Number one finalist in this category, number one finalist is Cecily M. Gatiti from Kenya Coast Guard Service. Congratulations, Cecily. The second finalist is Caroline Juguna from National Police Service. Congratulations, Caroline, for the work well done. And the third finalist under the category of Outstanding Female Security Professional, Annette Kimitei, Seneca, East Africa. Congratulations, ladies. This was tough. You met the threshold and judges were impressed. But just like Charles, my colleague, and Professor Martin said, there has to be only one winner. Over to you, Professor Martin Gill.
Chris, thank you so much once again. And I'm just so pleased that you've read out the names and got all the pronunciations right. It's always a worry for me. So thank you very much indeed, Chris. Same to you, Charles. So Charles, this is your last job today. We need you to announce out who's the winner of this very special category, which was very hotly contested, I have to say, and find out who the Outstanding Female Security Professional is at the 2020 Kenya OSPAs. Charles.
Thanks, Professor Martin, and thanks the OSPAs. To the finalists, it was very tough and very impressed to find ladies coming out very strongly. And we hope that next year we'll have more participants. You know, you can't win if you don't participate. And the winner for this category, Outstanding Female Security Professional, is none other than Caroline Juguna, National Police Service. Thank you so much, Dr. Juguna.
Well, many congratulations to Caroline. And in fact, many congratulations to all our finalists. Just to be clear, you've all done a very special job in becoming finalists. And a special grateful thanks to all of you for showing support for the OSPAs in this first ever year. Before we close proceedings, though, let's just congratulate all the winners. Many congratulations to you all. Well, that concludes the presentation of the 2020 Kenya Outstanding Security Performance Awards. There's the website, there are the hashtags. Please spread the word. Congratulations to all of the winners, to all the finalists. Thank you again to all our judges, to all the supporting associations, including ACISMP and PCAC, who weren't represented on the judging panel, but nevertheless were very supportive of us. Thank you very much indeed. To Alexander Angus and Angela Kinua for partnering with us. So don't forget to look at the website for summaries of the winners. And finally, a big thank you from the OSPAs and Security Expo teams for being part of today's event. And we very much look forward to welcoming you to the event in 2021. Hopefully, we'll be able to meet in person. To everyone from the OSPAs on our side of things, to you in Kenya, to Charles and to Chris, a very big thank you, and look forward to seeing you in 2021. Wherever you are in the world, folks, stay safe.